With this idea, I may be able to get the one-up on Edelgard.
This again.
Hubert! I wish you would not sneak up on me like that.
Maybe you would be more perceptive if your mind were less burdened by sedition.
Sedition? Absurd. This is an important project.
Yes, I heard. A new way to prove how superior you are to Lady Edelgard. She is not your rival, Ferdinand. She is above you. A noble like you ought to know his place.
Anything is better than being a noble like you. Every time you open your mouth, it's Lady Edelgard this or Lady Edelgard that. Do you ever think for yourself? You follow her around like a pet. You spend all of your time fretting over her, and yet you never truly express an opinion of your own. Before you reprimand me, take a moment to consider your own failings.
Your nonsense is tiresome, so I hope this will be the last time I have to remind you. Lady Edelgard is the Imperial Princess. You are merely the Prime Minister's son.
Yes, I understand that. But my duty is to guide her, to give frank advice when she is on the wrong course of action. That is what I strive to do, always. Thus my devotion to surpass Edelgard, so that if she needs guidance, I will be prepared to give it. If you think it is tiresome to have a mind of your own, you will never be much of an advisor.
Does the river of filth pouring out of your mouth ever stop flowing? Your obsession with all things superficial is disgusting. It's no use. You're hopeless. I'll take my leave.
I have nothing more to say to you. Get out of here.
All right, time for some more... Oh, Petra. Hi.
Caspar, do you want to train with each other?
Yeah, sure.
You have had new training recently, and great improvements. I want great improvement too. Will you give me help?
Well, hey, look at that. You pay more attention than I gave you credit for. I have been trying new training methods. They're definitely paying off. My movements are much sharper lately, more precise.
I am knowing that. I want that too. You teach, I learn. We both get more strength. It will be greatness.
All right. I mean, I guess we can give it a shot. Petra?
Yes, Caspar?
No, never mind. Sorry. I was just thinking about something else. Nothing at all. Let's train.
I heard a question in your voice. Say it.
No. It's really nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I will not be worrying. Can we begin the training?
Ah, fine. We can talk about it if you insist. You can stop pretending like you don't know.
What am I knowing?
About my father.
Your father? He is of the military in the Empire. I hear he has great skill.
No, not that. Well, it's kind of about that. I'm talking about when Dagda and Bridget invaded the Empire. My father led the Empire's army that fended off the invaders. Your father was in that battle. Did you really not know? My father killed yours.
You... How long have you had this knowing?
I just found out recently. I had no idea before then. But it's all I've been able to think about since.
So, now you have the truth.
Petra? Damn it. What am I supposed to do now?
La 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 la. Such lovely weather for painting.
Bernadetta?
Who are you? Where did you come from?
It's just me, Linhart. What are you doing?
Painting! Just painting. Not important. Am I in your way? I'm in your way. I'll just go. I'm going.
No need for all that. I just came out here to read. I'll stay quiet and still so as not to bother you. How's that? If you want to go, that's fine too.
No. I'll stay.
Say, aren't you usually holed up inside? Mad? At you? Never. I rather admire you, in fact. I fantasize about shutting myself in my room and never going outside again. It sounds like paradise. However, I wouldn't be able to perform my research. That, Bernadetta, is a problem.
What? You admire me? Nuh-uh. No way. I know a trick when I see one. What are you plotting? So you want to copy me, is that it? And what's a copy do with the original? Replace it! Well, I've got you figured out. I won't just sit back and take it. I'll fight you!
What? That's not this is too much hassle. I'm leaving.
I'm sorry! Please don't kill me!
Yeah, silent for a bit. But welcome back, everyone. Yeah, we had support, and that's how they function, as you no doubt remember. And these supports, like this one right here with Ferdinand and Violet, they have a tendency to just kind of show up on their own, so to speak. But we're already done with all our exploration, so what we're going to do is that we are actually just going to end it and go into next week. Next week, we will actually begin showing off what is now available to us. Teaching instruction.
Have you not been told what's expected from lectures here? Well, I can tell you how it works based on what I've heard from other professors.
When you instruct your students, they gain skill experience. As their skill levels increase, they will gain access to new abilities and combat arts. The number of people you can instruct is indicated by your activity points at the top of the screen. When you set up a group task, the students you assign will continue the task until you change it. After the first round of instruction each month, your students may come to you with a question. They will be motivated by it if they like your answer. So you have all these different ones right here, like your skill goals, how do you instruct, suggested goals, yada yada yada. So we'll just listen to Edelgard explain it all.
Before starting a lecture, it's a good idea to determine everyone's academic goals. Students will want to prioritize studying things that will help them achieve their aim.
Students study on their own and earn skill experience according to their skill goals. Results are reported at the end of each week. You can alter goals in the goal menu, and you can instruct. Instruction is fairly easy. All you really have to do is just kind of talk, but you instruct them manually, so to speak.
It's probably easier to get good results if you instruct students based on their interests and specialties. Of course, that doesn't mean it's pointless to teach someone things unrelated to their personal goals as well. By looking beyond their preferences, some students may find they're interested in fields they've never previously considered.
Yeah, a 3-star mark next to a skill indicates you'll unlock a budding talent after a certain amount of instructing. Once you unlock a budding talent, they will go to excel in that. So budding talents are strange because like it says, you do need to spend a certain amount of time in that talent in order for them to oh, I didn't realize I really like that. But it's only indicated by a 3-star mark next to it. And only actually a few students have it to my knowledge. It won't be something like, for example, Leonie doesn't have one because she has no weaknesses in general. But characters who generally have weaknesses or are not actually good in a certain area may have a budding talent in that strength. And I'll show it off later.
A student's goals may change based on their studies or the experience they gain while on missions. When that happens, perhaps you could help them decide what new goals they should set for themselves.
Yeah, student prison instruction, student person, they may approach you with suggestions for new goals, whether they accept the instruction or not, it's completely up to you. So students may come up and want to change their goals themselves, and sometimes it may just change to exactly what they have, so sometimes you can just ignore it. Or in my case, I try to keep it on the same path as much as possible. Anyways, now let's see how much motivation that they have. How motivated are you?
How motivated a student is will affect how well your tutoring goes. To help cultivate their motivation, I think it's a good idea to interact with your students as much as possible. Please try your best to motivate everyone, so that they, in turn, will try hard with their assignments and activities.
Yeah, you know how I say you want to spend time with your students and all that? This is the reason why. You want to spend time with your students, so that way you can train them more often. They have a full bar of motivation. You get 4 teaching instructions for each of them. Your instructions are more frequently. interact with students around the monastery. And now you have group tasks. Group tasks are basically kind of like ways to put students in areas that they may or may not have an interest in. For example, there's ones where they focus on, they have flying, one that builds heavy armor, and one that has them focus on the stables. And each of those affects their movement, so to speak. Flying and riding are pretty obvious, but affecting, like moving around like rocks and just kind of clearing out debris, will have the students gain ability in heavy armor because, like, you know, they build their muscles. Anyways, group task.
At the Officers Academy, students are encouraged to engage in various activities in and around the monastery. If you instruct your students to work together as a team, it will help to deepen their bonds and produce better results.
Yeah, you can assign these to one group per week. And it's kind of annoying. It's like, oh, you only can assign it to one. Where I thought they were like, all right, here, either this or later on, because this even includes later on, you can't have the students be, you can't have 6 students go out and work on, 2 work on flying, 2 work on stables, 2 work on debris. No, it's just like one group of students per time. Anyways, certification exams. These are the reasons why you have SEALs, but since this is also academy, you gotta take a test in order to become a specific class. Yeah, I know, that's weird.
Have you heard about the certification exams? They take place every month. Everyone here is working hard to become a certain type of soldier, and those tests are how you can check to see how far we've come. In order to pass the exam, you need to train enough to become whatever class you're aiming for. Take care to develop your students strategically so that they can pass their certification exams.
Yeah, when you pass the certification exam, you can change to a new class. Benefits of higher tier classes include increased stats and growth rates. And now it's time to begin our lesson plan. But first, we're gonna change up our goals. Now, everyone has their goals, yada yada yada. You want them to be speccing in different areas. For certain classes later on, you will need to be careful which one you want to go for. So say someone like Linhart has interest in reason magic and faith. Say if I want to specifically gear him towards a class, I would need to teach him in both faith and writing. But you'll never see it later on. But let's begin the instruction. So let's start off with my favorite character, Bernadetta. She will have a budding talent in writing. As you can no doubt tell by the 3 stars there, that will be showing you that, hey, that you're going to need to know this area. So here's what you do. Just press A, and they learn in that area.
I did pretty well today.
And it just increases over and over and over and over. However, say if your character has experience in that area, professor expertise, that gives you more points so that they can learn. However, if they have a weakness, they will decrease the amount of points that they can get from this. Good just gives them normal amount of experience, great gives them 0.5, and perfection gives them 0.2. And another writing, and another chance to learn more. But anyways, we're just going to focus on writing for Benedetta.
I got it right.
See?
Phew.
She got perfect. So, you can praise your student, and they gain extra motivation.
Thanks. That's reassuring.
And there is a small chance for them to completely bomb on something, but it really does not happen often.
I got it right. Phew.
And as you can no doubt tell, she has increased her...
Back in my room.
She has increased her talent. You put 4 talent points or 4 areas of teaching into a student, and they gain a star. Gain a star, you gain your budding talent. And once they expend all their motivation, that's it, you're done. You can't teach them anymore. So for, say, someone like Ferdinand, who has multiple strengths, you can throw them into it, but I'm not going to increase heavy armor because the heavy armor budding talents really don't do anything, in my opinion. But we're going to increase sword mastery because it's the one that he could get the most out of, getting a +10. And you only have to teach him a few times in order for him to, like, jump into the next stage. And look at that, we already almost increased his expertise. And this is just something you do very easily. And so, for example, we're going to increase Dorothea's faith, even though it's very weak and she barely gets anything.
Everything went pretty well today.
And the reason why you want to do that is so that she can, no doubt, get more experience in that area. Because, let's be honest, she has an interest in reason magic, but nothing in faith. But she has a budding talent in faith, and there's a reason why you want to increase the budding talents. Again, you just get unique skills. And since we have 7 skill points, and we could teach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, we have 5, meaning we only one person's gonna have to like be left out. So, gonna teach Petra, and she has very good like growths overall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to increase my teaching skills off screen to basically be, alright, here, B, 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 B. So that way you could just gain more points in teaching your students. Even though it decreases your renown later on, you don't really need it for anything else other than increasing experience, in my opinion. So, let's see. Let's go with someone like Hubert. Hubert has a budding talent in lances. Why? You'll see later, but it's actually very good. Because some students who are magic-based like Hubert that have a budding talent in physical-based skills usually get a magic-based skill from in that combat art. So, case in point. And that just praise Hubert.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
It will get you everywhere. It's just that this guy is depressing as all crap. And dang, another perfect. And here's the thing, you only can get 1 perfect per training session, and it's actually quite interesting. But he has Lance Prowess 1, and he gains 1 more in there, but we're just going to increase his reason magic.
1 step closer to mastery.
And there we go, it's just like very simple. Then you want to teach your Lord, and we're going to switch Linhardt's goals to be more focused on faith magic rather than reason magic, because I'll probably just buy it up. But Edelgard's, you always want to learn more for your Lords. The only problem is, like, the Lords don't get much magic because they always spec into a class that really doesn't do magic a whole lot. This includes Dimitri, Claude, Edelgard. It's just, like, very messed up. But what we will do is just focus on swords because, wow, just perfect. Praise Edelgard.
Praise isn't necessary, really.
And just keep training.
I'm improving, thanks to you.
And bam, she goes up to D rank already, and she gets Wrath Strike. And another perfect. And we're going to focus on Caspar because here's the thing. With Caspar, I recruit him in every route. The problem is, like, he's always had really crappy hit rate for, like, everything. So, like, here, he's good at brawling and good at axes, but he's terrible with bows, terrible with magic, and terrible with authority. So I'm like, alright, yeah, sure, that makes sense. So we're just going to make him better than what he already is.
That went way better than expected. Thanks for your help.
And I won't show this every week. Like, every week I will probably just go like, alright, here, 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 here. Just like what I did. And we're going to assign students to groups tasks. We have Stable Duty, Weeding, and Skywatch. We're going to have Stable Duty, and we're going to toss... Here's the thing. You can toss in characters that just don't do well together, but if they have support with each other, they actually increase it fairly well. So say, for example, say if I wanted to throw, like, Bernadetta and Petra together, it could work. But we're going to have them do Skywatch. Yeah, I know, that's probably a horrible idea for someone like Bernadetta. But here's the thing. You could do this, and if they have support with each other, they actually get unique dialogue. And if you have them work on it for a long period of time, they just actually do get better in it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to change characters and give them a custom focus. Just give Linhardt, and you can only switch it to 1 in there. That's the custom focus. So someone like usually I would, now that I do this, I tend to like really skew characters towards one path. So someone like Hubert, I'm actually going to give him just focusing on reason right now, because if they only focus on one task, they actually become much better at it. So we are just kind of going to skew them towards one area, because some of these, they just get really good on their own. Now you can or cannot do that, it really just depends. Like I said, I'm going to have the characters kind of like learn their own thing on their own later on. Or I might just buy their skills, which I may or may not do, again, just doing what I want to do. But It just comes down to what will happen later on. Is it the best thing to do right now? No. No, it's not. But with the way the students progress in their class line, you'll see that it's actually better later on to have them do something like this. Take that. Ferdinand and Caspar, they'll get a lot of use out of this, but since he's going to be using fists more often, or actually axes more often, we're just going to train in fists. And Ferdinand just has no weaknesses, so we'll just do that. And you begin your lecture.
May I ask a question, Professor?
Yes, you may, Bernadette. Sorry, I usually probably just skip me. I don't have a question. What would you even think? How would I even think of one? You don't need to talk about whatever. Like, these answers come up quite often. And they do actually have different phases for, like, alright, here, your student's asking a question for, like, phase 1 or phase 2. And it actually does impact overall how your student will react, so to speak, in certain ones. So, like, for example, it's like, how did I think of one? Like, I think this is the answer you just did.
You're a genius!
Yeah. And there are other ones where they increase more often, and then you just teach your student for a week. But Ferdinand would like to speak to you. This is what was going on in the beginning, where your students will ask you certain questions, and then you just show up, and it's like, all right, here, ask them a question. Ferdinand will speak with you, and you do want to do this when they actually come up. So let's let it rock.
Hello, Professor. May I speak with you? You seem to hold Edelgard in high esteem. That is my impression, at least.
I mean, yeah, she's a lord in a Fire Emblem game. You kind of hold them in high esteem. There's very few lords that people do not like across the series. And even then, they still tend to like... There still seems to be okay with them. Like, a person like Roy. I think Roy's like one of the few... Roy and Corrin are like one of the few lords that people absolutely detest. But they have their fans. But yeah, Edelgard's a good student. She wants to know.
She is certainly talented. No doubt about that. But I wonder, what is your opinion of me? I am quite talented too, am I not? Be honest. Do not hold back. Pretend that I am just a regular person, not the scion of a noble house.
You're the worst. But let's be honest. If anyone, it's always this. Lords are generally just better than who they're working with. Again, it's like, it's not often like, yeah, if you put in work, some characters are better than others, but like, look at someone like Alm. Alm's stats peak at a certain point because he won't be able to promote until later on. But I could be honest, but I don't like Ferdinand all that much. Yeah, he changes later on, but he's not going to be as good as Edelgard.
You think she is better than me?
You told me to speak plainly, you bastard!
I was just being modest before. Honestly, I have always prided myself on being superior to Edelgard.
And that's why I always had problems with Ferdinand, because here's the thing, he comes off as arrogant and superior, and he's like, yes, noble's this, noble's that. You'll see it with some of his supports and how he acts in battle, but it gets better.
But evidently that is not your perspective. I suppose there is only one thing to do. I must demonstrate my excellence.
And how are you gonna, like, that's not necessary, and let's be honest, if he's going to, like, I can't stop him.
Precisely. You cannot stop me. I will prove that you have drastically underestimated me. You think I could ignore such a slight upon my honor? Not likely. Come, Professor.
See? This is why it's kind of funny. It's just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
We will begin with battle. Edelgard's skills in combat are no match for mine. I heard that just the other day, she defeated a demonic beast without assistance.
Excuse me, what? What's a demonic beast?
Well, anything Edelgard can do, I can do better. And in half the time.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Professor,
God, that song is
you can be
freaking
my
old.
eyewitness and timekeeper.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be painful. And the fact that he won't be
Here we
able
go.
to do it, probably. Oh, Jesus Christ!
That's... well, it will be fine.
This will be fine. Ferdinand, are you okay?
I can't do it.
Oh, look, I'm not surprised at all.
It seems you have saved my life. Thank you, Professor.